Hey YouTube, welcome back to a brand new Animal Crossing New Horizons video. Today we're taking a look at even more details uncovered in the recent 1.11 data mine surrounding none other than the cafe. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. So earlier today or late last night, depending on what region you're in, the latest Animal Crossing New Horizons update was distributed, bringing us up to version 1.11. This update added the refreshed fireworks shows for August, along with a bunch of new handheld food items, as well as the next wave of exclusive seasonal items. Of course, this was officially revealed by Nintendo a few days ago, but thanks to a recent data mine, we now have even more information about what is hidden in the version 1.11. Not only have a bunch of unannounced seasonal items been uncovered for October and November, along with some refreshed Halloween content, but some small adjustments and code changes have been observed by data miners and appear to be linked to a cafe. Now, we've already covered the unannounced seasonal items and refreshed Halloween content in our previous video, so we're going to be focusing on the detail uncovered surrounding the cafe and what this means. So before we go any further, it's important to remember what we're about to discuss does 100% exist in the game's code, but does not mean anything regarding a cafe being confirmed or being released. For all we know, this could be redundant code, scrapped features, or something Nintendo is tinkering with and may not come to fruition. Please bear this in mind, keep your expectations low, but enjoy a little bit of cafe hype. Now, it seems the camera parameters in the game's code, Museum Entrance 3 and Museum Cafe, that were added in the last update, presumably for a cafe given the naming convention and location, still exists in version 1.11, but have been referenced or modified in some way to include new or adjusted variables in the latest update. Of course, we don't know what this means, but does show Nintendo are actively working with the code, which we assume is linked to a museum cafe. Another clue that suggests a museum cafe is in the works is a new event flow See NPC Memory Talk Progress Museum Built Cafe has been added and is apparently associated with another museum variable introduced in the previous update known as Museum Level. If I understand this correctly, the event is used to flag or confirm whether or not characters or villagers can talk about a built cafe or maybe talk about a cafe being built. However, this is currently unused code, and although it does exist, it is not triggered yet. And finally, according to data miners who have been incredibly reliable in the past, another event flow or keyword has been discovered in version 1.11 called XCT Message Cafe, which calls one of 4 randomly chosen dialogues. Again, this exists, but the dialogue is empty and I believe is unused. What makes this even more interesting though is that this event is associated with Rover visiting the cafe. Although very intriguing, I wouldn't take this to mean anything just yet, as for all we know, Rover could be a test character for the cafe given he's never actually on the island. With that said, special characters have visited the cafe in previous games, so you never know. Now, this is all very interesting and definitely gets me excited for a future update involving the cafe, and it's highly likely actually the content Nintendo are working on right now that they have confirmed will release later in the year probably focuses on the cafe, but it's important to remember these are data mine findings and no matter how convincing they appear could equate to nothing, especially considering hints to Brewster have actually been in the game's codes for some time and he's still not here yet. So whilst this looks promising and it's fun to report on these kind of discoveries, don't think too much about it until we hear something official from Nintendo. So there we have it. That was a few very interesting data mine findings surrounding the cafe that hint we may see a cafe added to New Horizons sometime in the future. But what do you think about this news? Do you believe Nintendo are working on bringing the Roost back? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd like to thank all of the data miners for all of their hard work and of course sharing their findings with the community. It's super fun to read, so if you want to read more, I'll be sure to leave the links below. Anyway, that pretty much wraps up this video. Of course, I'd like to thank all of the Patreon and channel members for supporting this content and helping me upload as regularly as I do. I couldn't do it without you. As always, if you made it to the end of the video, be sure to leave a like and comment cafe just to let me know you did. That would be super awesome. And be sure to include if you think the Roost is what Nintendo is working on to release later this year. I'd love to know. Anyway, until next time, have an amazing day, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.